Good morning. We're live. Dr. Kiltz is here from Sarasota, Florida.
If I tune in on Instagram, I can hear everybody.
Yep. You get on Instagram, Ray. I'll put you on mute.
Love you guys.
All right, talk to you. Bye, Ray.
Good morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. almost on the 2nd of March.
Eastern Time, USA. Well, we're talking to our brothers and sisters around the globe.
Put your hashtag KMT in the chat for a chance to win
A t-shirt.
T-shirt
But you've actually already won
because you're here.
because you're here.
Amen.
That is the truth. Where are you in this world, Karina?
I'm in Miami.
Nice.
Okay.
We're both on the east coast of the universe.
I'm in Florida. That's well.
Happy Florida and Colombia and Brother Ray in Irvine, California. We're all doing this together, sharing the wisdom and the way why a carnivore lifestyle is like the way, the wisdom, the magic, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. Dr. Nelson, you want to lead us off today?
Sure. We're going to be talking to Karina, and she's going to start telling us her story in a little bit. But if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. QQQ in front of it, please. And before I forget, at the end, Zoom call at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time inside the Kiltz Method community. If you're not a member, sign up. It costs you absolutely nothing except your entry fees, your email, so we can communicate.
That's right.
Karina, how are you doing today?
Wonderful. So happy to be here.
Now I was looking a little bit and seeing a lot of health problems with you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and tell us your carnivore story.
So my name is Karina Juliana. I am 54 years old, and for most of my life, I was a vegetarian / vegan / raw vegan, and I can't even describe to you how I've suffered along the way. When I was very young, coming from a Slavic background, a lot of doughy foods, a lot of potato foods. I was never a meat eater. I never liked red meat, unfortunately. Chicken, seafood, salted, cured fish, seafood, but I was never a lover of red meat, and I really didn't eat it much or at all in my childhood. And then when I was 17, I was brainwashed into the vegetarian movement, thought I was doing something so righteous by not killing animals. And it really hurt me along the way. I suffered from migraines, by the way, my entire life. Even as a child, I suffered from halos, seeing halos that were accompanied by severe nausea and just all kinds of crazy migraine symptoms. And then when I became a vegetarian, almost immediately cystitis, almost immediately kidney stones, polyonephritis. Every month I was taking something for cystitis, severe weight gain. It was so I had to starve myself to lose weight, went through bulimia, went through all kinds of crazy eating disorders. And when I was 46 years old, I started to have severe symptoms. I also got breast implants when I was 45, and I attributed crazy panic attacks and anxiety and just these weird symptoms to the breast implants. So I got the breast implants removed and blocked. So with the scar tissue, you know, the proper way where I thought, okay, surely that's going to solve all my problems. But meanwhile, I just kept gaining weight and the symptoms were alleviated for a short period of time, but most certainly I continued to suffer. And long story short, between Epstein-Barr, Lyme's, Crohn's, Meniere's, the worst of them was POTS. That was really difficult, and I actually thought that I would end up in a wheelchair. And I got my hair analysis done, which I thought was preposterous, but it's the only thing I hadn't done yet. I tried Chinese medicine, Ayurveda. I tried absolutely every alternative medicine and energy healing. And I was trying to seek my guru. You know, I was heavily into the New Age movement also. So I was doing everything possible to heal. I really was not leaving anything you know, overlooked on the alternative journey of healing, and everything was getting worse and worse. And when the hair analysis came back, it showed that I had severe toxic copper, which honestly, even to this day, I really can't find anybody that understands how to deal with that. But long story short, one night when I was having a POTS attack. So POTS was more or less controlled by me lying down. So my resting heart rate was 57, but when I would sit up or stand up, it would shoot in the 120s to 146. And it was really, really hard. I was in a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week state of anxiety, and my heart was just racing. The only time I had any peace is maybe on the rare occasions that I was lying down and I would fall asleep. But even in the middle of the night, I would just wake up in cold sweats and it was just horrible. But on 2 occasions, I woke up with tachycardia. And the first time I went to the ER and nothing was done. They basically were asking me, did you have coffee today? I said, yes, I had 2 cups of coffee. You overdosed on coffee. This will pass. When will it pass? It can take 6 to 8 hours. So basically, I left with a prescription for lorazepam, and I was like, I can't do this. I need to find answers. And the second time that I woke up with tachycardia, I was so scared. I honestly, I was in devastating fear. And this night in particular, I felt like I was dying. Like I felt like this was it. I just can't do this anymore. There was so much suffering. There was such a weight on my life. And I had already given my life to Jesus. But this night in particular, I realized that I hadn't surrendered everything. And because I was such a food addict, because I was so hungry all the time, you know, plants are not going to satisfy you, and poisoning yourself with plants on a constant basis for over 3 decades, my body was just severely poisoned, you know. And I just went into my bathroom, and you have to get through the bathroom to get into the closet. And I just collapsed in the closet and I gave my life to the Lord totally and entirely. And I'm not even joking. His peace, which surpasses all understanding, just came over me. And I just felt like I need to get back in bed instead of taking any action at all. And in bed, what I would do to cope is I would get on YouTube and search up POTS cure, POTS, anything related to POTS. And Michaela Peterson somehow came on with her testimony of the lion diet. And I knew that from that moment on, that's what the Lord had given me. He wanted my discipline. He wanted my obedience. And the only way that I was going to heal was to study from one crazy diet to another. Oh my goodness, another crazy diet. Fantastic. But the more I studied it and the more I lived it, the more I realized that it's not a crazy diet to eat the way that we were created to eat. And for 3 months on the lion diet, very strict, I couldn't eat anything but beef, salt, and water because my body was so severely poisoned. I had such histamine intolerances. I was a mess inside and out. So I had to be so gentle with myself. I couldn't even, I had such meat aversions. I couldn't, and I wasn't a meat lover. So for me, it was almost impossible to eat. I couldn't look at the beef. I couldn't smell it. I couldn't tolerate it until I realized that, you know what? Jerky. I'm a chips girl, so why don't I make jerky? And I made jerky. And there was 1 month in particular that I ate nothing but my beef jerky with salt and water. That's all I had. And on the 3 month marker, I woke up with absolutely no symptoms. There was such a peace. Not only did I not have any tachycardia, I had no anxiety, I had no panic attacks, I had no intrusive thoughts, I had no skin rashes. Like my body just went through something so incredible that when I woke up, I started to feel superhuman. And I never knew that you could feel that way. I mean, it was the most incredible and awakening experience of my life. Now, since that, I was on just beef, salt, and water for 11 months because I couldn't tolerate lamb yet. The minute I would start eating it, I would get a little bit anxiety, which was very weird for me because I was so used to now feeling exceptional. So at the 11-month marker, I started to incorporate lamb. So it was beef, lamb, salt, and water for a year and a half.
Wow.
And then at a year and a half, I started to do regular carnivore. I added eggs, I added goat cheese, and I add raw dairy. And I started creating all these delicious, beautiful carnivore dishes. And then I noticed that after 6 months on regular carnivore with dairy, I started to feel off again. So I went back on lion diet for 3 months and then again back to carnivore. And basically, it's 3.5 years now. And
Wow.
I'm back on just beef, lamb, salt, no mold, black coffee because everyone has to choose their battles and the Lord gave it to me and thank you Jesus, I will take it. Okay. And I'm very, very strict. I still have symptoms of copper dumping, which is remarkable for me because there's not a lot of information out there, and it's one of the most brutal things. I've dumped oxalates, and that was brutal, but it was nothing like copper dumping. So it's the one thing where I can't really help my body to detox. For instance, fasting is what I would, you know, just common sense would be like fast, but fasting brings on dumping too quickly. And with copper, I have to be very, very careful. But the good news is that I had another hair analysis, and the professor that did it said, Karina, you've actually experienced calcium shell break. And that is the biggest step towards healing because your body feels so safe that you're actually now like I don't know if it's the final stages, but I'm cleansing. I'm still cleansing. It's a journey. Sometimes it takes up to 7 years or several years to cleanse from copper, but everything else is
I am
gone.
healthy and well.
Amen.
I am healed, healthy, and well.
Amen.
It's
Yes.
a simple answer, is it not? Right?
Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't take years. I am already that which I wish to be, right? Sorry,
Amen. Yes.
I just, it's JC like speaking through all of us, right?
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. So how'd you end up so sick? What was the sort of the why part of it, do we think?
So crazy, ridiculous vegetarian diet for 33 years, I think is a huge, the huge culprit in all of this. But I also found out that, that with this copper, it can come through the mother's, it can come through the mother during pregnancy, which gave me my migraines when I was younger. But I think that the vegetarian diet and a lot of trauma in a previous marriage had a lot to do with me coming to this point, or that point rather.
Who creates everything?
Who? The Lord.
God. Does God know
Yes.
what he's doing?
Absolutely.
Always.
Always.
Strengthening training grounds. That was yesterday.
Yes.
We are stronger today. And why have you come online to share your story? What's that all about?
Because I feel like he's kept me alive for this. I feel like what I went through, how close I was to no longer being here. I feel like if I've been given, you know, freely we've been given and freely we are to give. So he really, he led me to this path, which I think I should have been on from the beginning of life. And how can you not share this with people that are suffering?
And so I guess that's, we're all meant to share the stories of our suffering. How important do you think it is that we have published studies that will convince everyone that this way of eating is the way to live?
I personally feel like we are the study. You know, I find it hilarious when I speak to someone that's suffering and I'll tell them my story, and the only response is, well, what's your cholesterol? And where are the studies? Like, I am the study and I don't care about my cholesterol. Actually, I do. I do. I love that my brain is working.
I have high cholesterol. I'm high on life.
Yeah.
The Lord, Jesus Christ, or again, whichever religious, but it's love, kindness, generosity. But ultimately, has modern science actually made us sick? That's a real
Absolutely.
problem.
Absolutely. We're not living the way that we were intended to live. I don't think that we were intended to eat bowls of plants, and I think that plants were for times of scarcity when we couldn't get meat. And the way that I think about it is we would have to forage for them. Like, there's no way that we could be sustained and live optimally on plants.
I have a question, Karina.
Yeah.
I've been vegetarian in the past. Growing up, I was surrounded with a lot of people who were vegetarians. And so nowadays, if you tell someone, oh, I eat plant-based, seems to be very accepted. If you happen to say, I only eat meat, you know, the questions come, right? So your immediate family, your friends, your extended circle of friends, what do they say now that you have changed that way of eating? And what did they say before when you were getting sick, being raw vegan, vegetarian? Were they telling you, oh, you must be doing it wrong?
I mean, no. And no to the last part. So no one said anything to me when I was very sick and eating a bag of Doritos. You know, no one thought it
Right.
was insane that I could eat 2 or 3 bowls of pasta, or I could never, like, until I was just sick to my stomach, I couldn't get up from the table. No one thought about that being odd or weird. But I have had people, very close people in my life, that turned away from me because they thought this, between my belief in Jesus and my carnivore diet, that I'm radical. And yeah, I've been radically changed. I mean, my husband is the most important human being in my life, and he has been supportive from day one, from the morning that he woke up and found out the experience that I had that night with the Lord and Michaela Peterson, her testimony. He was just like, let's do this, babe, you know. And he actually ate lion diet with me, but with hot sauce. He had the same thing I was having, but with hot sauce for 6 months. So, you know, honestly, I don't feel alone in this, because I know that it's the right thing. I'm here to share it. So it nothing has ever felt more right.
Go ahead, Dr. Kiltz.
Isn't it amazing how this way of living, eating, opens up our brain and our passion and compassion to share this way of living?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, when you suffer so much and you make it to the other side, the first thing you want to do is reach into the darkness and pull every single person into the light. And it's such a passion of mine right now, you know. Even sharing every meal that I'm having, that's so simple and nothing special, you know. Just a few pieces of cold steak, but I want to share it and explain there's nothing complex about eating the proper human diet. It's so simple, you know. You can make it beautiful, but you could just have beef and salt, you know. It doesn't have to be anything. You could have bacon, you can have whatever you want, you can have eggs, anything you can tolerate. Oh, and one more thing I forgot, which is so important. So on the lion diet, you know, for a year and a half I was on the lion diet, but the only thing that I had not healed from was I had 2 bleeding fibroids that, I'm telling you, they would make me bleed like I can't even describe. It was so bad that I actually had to take this Chinese medicine called bullet bullet something. Anyway, long story short, I would have to stop, like, cauterize this bleeding. And I just felt I need to add butter. Butter was the first thing that I need to add to my lion diet. So for like a month, I just added crazy amounts of butter. And when I say crazy amounts, the amounts that were delicious for me. Like if it didn't taste good anymore, I was done. But as long as I was craving butter, which I was just piling it on my jerky. I was piling it on my burgers, on my steak, on my ribeye. And not only did my fibroids go away, the bleeding stopped, I have better menstrual periods at 54 than I had when I was in my 30s, because I never had normal periods. I was always a heavy bleeder and I always suffered with cramps. Nothing. I have amazing menstrual periods now. So butter is amazing. Fat is amazing.
So in fact, it's raw fat that's the most healthiest thing we eat. And that fat on our body is the healthiest thing on our body. And obesity is survival. And we get fat because your body is smarter than we are. It knows something's coming. It knows that you better be prepared for a famine, for fasting, for migration, for hibernation. It knows. Fat is protective of all disease. But we just continue to eat like a grazing animal instead of the carnivore lion we are.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions. Let's get those. Oh, this is an interesting one. What was your husband's response to 26 months of carnivore?
My husband could not be more proud. He sees the changes. For him, as long as I am improving, feeling amazing, he's my biggest supporter. And he's basically ketovore. You know, he's basically carnivore with spices and the occasional onion and hot sauce.
Did he have any changes himself?
He did. So when he did the lion diet with hot sauce, he got his blood work done, and he has had a thyroid problem since he was very young, since he was like 20, and he's 60 now. And he was on the highest dose of levothyroxine. And when he went in, the doctor said, listen, I don't know what you're doing, but I have to bring you down to the lowest dose. And honestly, I need to take you off, but I don't want to take you off just like that. So I'm going to put you down to the lowest dose, and we'll see what happens in 6 months. So the only thing that the doctor said was, listen, the only thing I'm concerned with is your cholesterol. So
And why would your body make something to harm you?
yeah,
It doesn't.
it's insane.
It doesn't.
It's just crazy.
Here's the next question. Having dealt with bulimia for decades, how did a meat-only diet change your relationship with binge, triggers, or food obsession?
So it silenced the noise, the food noise, and I am so satiated. All I thought about was food before. I was chronically hungry. I was habitually eating. And if I get up from the table and I'd need something sweet and then something salty, and I constantly had something in my mind. And what I now attribute it to is I wasn't eating the most nutrient dense food on the planet. I didn't have any real healthy fat. I mean, avocado, I don't even consider that a fat. What is that? It's a carb, right? With a
It's
little,
a plant.
yeah, it's a
It's a
plant.
plant.
A plant with a little bit of fat, right?
No,
So
it doesn't contain fat.
there you go.
It contains a plant oil, which is different than animal fat.
Right.
I mean, really, the simplicity of the whole story is, in general, an animal is hard and dangerous to kill in our ancient landscape.
Yeah.
A plant is easy to kill. So once you've killed the animal, the food you eat from the animal is non-toxic and ultimately healthy for us. The plants are more toxic. But so there was a question. There's a question here, I guess, maybe is all plants are bad and only meat is healthy. Well, it's not an all or none. We are omnivores. We can eat some plants, but we're mostly driven to eat more fresh, fatty, raw meat and organs meats. Plants, we had to process and choose wisely to pick the ones that were least toxic or least poisonous or least allergenic or antigenic.
And prepare them adequately, because most raw plants, if not all of them, have anti-nutrients, have toxins. You need to either ferment them or cook them well, get rid of all the lectins and phytates and all that.
Right. So think of raw potatoes. Just go and dig up a raw potato and eat it. Unhealthy. Rice. Just go and gather rice plants and eat the rice plants without cooking them. Tremendous amount of antigenic.
Don't do that with beans, though.
Well, but the same thing with
you're very likely to die if you eat a lot of.
But you're
raw
likely
beans.
to get sick and die of raw rice.
Yeah.
Raw rice. But remember, we are eating a highly processed plant. That's why wheat and rice come white and processed, because the unprocessed product is more antigenic, allergenic, toxic, and fermentable to humans.
Yeah.
So it's not an all or none, but we can survive on a plant-based diet, but we're healthier now, we're seeing, on a raw animal fatty meat diet. But isn't the story so complicated? It's, like our brain has so been washed with propaganda that says one thing, and then it took you 40 plus years to find this way of living.
Absolutely.
This is another question. Many vegans fear the lack of nutrients. After 33 years without meat, what was your first meal of beef like? Did your body crave it instantly?
No, I had severe meat aversions that I had to go through, but I was also dealing with devastating just sickness. So in general, I was in a state where it was hard for me to eat. And no, I wasn't the blessed one that absolutely loved red meat and was craving it. So I never liked it. So you have to understand, my body went through so much to where now I can eat a steak and enjoy it and love it, and oxtails and short ribs and all the good stuff. It really took me a while.
Yeah, why did you have an aversion to meat, you think?
Probably because I was cleansing. I was so sick at that point. My body. Oh well, I needed to fast.
You're
I needed to
brainwashed.
fast from food.
We're brainwashed.
You think?
Oh, we're brainwashed against meat.
Mm-hmm.
We're brainwashed against people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're taught what's good and what's bad since the day you're born. Right? What's healthy and unhealthy. You hear it enough, right? In our religions, our politics, our diet, our lifestyles, our communities. We're all highly judgmental based on the inputs we've been taught, based on the friends of Jeffrey.
Mm.
The manipulation of the master message by the people who control the money and control the message.
Dr. Kiltz, what about this? Own raw meat, or do you buy packaged from a supermarket?
Well, I don't make the meat. I get it from a rancher, or I whether I get it online or get local. I don't, I usually buy it if I buy it from the butcher, it's in a case, open and free, not packaged. They wrap it up in paper and I take it home. But, I don't know that it matters so much. But to me, raw meat is way healthier than raw plants, and we don't eat enough raw fatty meat. Most carnivores eat lean meat. That's their problem, and they overcook their meat. And then when you ask for butter, they give you rendered butter, which is not good for us. Raw fat, raw butter, real raw butter, whole butter is healthier.
By the way, when I started carnivore, I had to have my meat looking like a hockey puck. It had to be so horribly cooked, overcooked, where I had to gnaw at it, And even on that horrible, overcooked meat, I was able to heal from, and I couldn't palate grass-fed. So literally from the supermarket, even poor quality got me there to where now I actually am craving raw, and I'm barely searing it. And when I'm making my jerky, I'm having some raw meat with the fat. I can't even describe it, how amazing it feels after I eat that. Talk about nature's multivitamin.
Well, why do you think even the cooked meat made you healthier?
Because that's better. I was still providing the most nutrient dense food on the planet, and I eliminated the culprit of my illnesses.
And you are healthy and well, are you not?
I am.
You don't have any healing to wait for. You already have it.
Amen. Yes.
That's really it. Yeah. Plant poisons, Rick.
If you were dropped into a forest, you could eat almost any animal you could kill, but 99% of the plants in the forest would make you sick or even kill you. Don't eat the colorful frogs. There you go. Eat everything else.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't have any other questions yet. We did all the questions, Dr. Kiltz.
Okay, goodbye.
Before we go,
Well, again, the more stories, the more of us share, the more power to our brothers and sisters who are suffering, because ultimately it's the biblical stories. And another prospective randomized double-blind study ain't going to work, because the money of politics, religions, and science will overshout the carnivores all day long in a scientific published study. Because
so if you have a story, tell it.
Yeah, you got to tell it. Get online like Karina is doing, and all of our brothers and sisters.
Brian, Ari, any thoughts on extended sardine fast?
Well, sardine fast is not a fast. You mean a sardine only diet?
Yes.
That's what it is. It's not, fasting means not eating, by the way. Let's get it straight. I'm consuming sardines as my diet, right? Fish, right?
But Karina, any thoughts on eating only sardines?
I don't have any thoughts on that because I'm sticking to my red fatty meat.
I eat fish infrequently.
Yeah.
I think it's still poisoned by the waters of the world. And I mean, let's see, farmed fish or wild fish. Why is there an argument on that? Because ultimately, most of us are not eating wild animals, are we? We're eating farmed animals.
Yeah.
Does it really matter, do you think, in the substance of the meat we eat?
Is that for me?
Sure.
I think it's much better because eating corn and soy fed as opposed to grass fed. Yeah, absolutely. But I was able to heal on corn and soy fed meat, now it's grass fed. But I think that we have to strive to do better and better if we can, if we can eat grass fed, grass finished, fantastic.
And ultimately, it's somehow our brain thinking it knows the right answer when we're driven, and eating fatty meat ultimately is the simplicity of it. And what toxins are in the plants that the animal eats that are then settled to us. Milk is a different story, because milk concentrates many of the poisons that the animal eats. What's the question? Ribeye Ranger.
It's not a question. It says, I'm happy your husband supported your journey. I met somebody's family who doesn't, or worse yet, ridicules them. Thanks for sharing your story today. And then here's a question. Brenda McIntyre, do you take any supplements?
I do. I take magnesium, potassium, silica, selenium, and iodine.
Great. Did you ever research your mother's early life for possible toxicity that carried over to you?
Yes. She also has toxic copper. She had, that was confirmed.
Next question is, did you say you buy raw butter?
Yes.
Where do you get it?
Online, farms, locally. but I don't always eat raw butter. I also eat the Costco grass-fed butter. I also like that one. So butter is like candy for me. So, you know, when you're craving this type instead of that type. So butter is a serious topic in this house.
What about cheese? Do you touch cheese at all?
I wish I could. In time. In time. I don't do very well on dairy. It brings back a lot of my food addictions where I'm thinking about food all the time if I have dairy. And I eat so much more when I do. So it's better just for me to stick to red fatty meat for now. But that's the goal, to be able to have some cheese once in a while.
This is where butter is like one of the best. And this is, I go for like gorgonzola or blue cheese. Those are my, and a Parmesan from time to time, small amounts.
Yeah.
But and I tolerate these things.
You might have already answered this. Do you eat any seafood, fish, salmon, etc.?
So when I go full carnivore, absolutely. But right now I'm on just red fatty meat.
All right.
Which is carnivore.
Yes.
Right. We got all these labels in our, and
Right.
it's complicated. And, you know, this is one of the things I was just like, eat mostly fatty meat, eat 1 or 2 meals a day. I say one's the very best, and enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Simplicity. Well, don't you find, what cookbook do you utilize in order to figure out what to eat?
No cookbook.
And how do you know you're getting the proper macros?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't count anything.
Karen wanted to know what your symptoms of copper dumping. What were your symptoms of copper dumping?
So it's funny. I read that if you want to know what symptoms of copper toxicity is, it's anything from the left to the right ear. So basically anything in the mind. There's this incredible professor. His name is Dr. Malter. He's an expert at the whole copper thing, well, mineral imbalances. And that comes from him. And me personally, it was anxiety, panic attacks, depression, severe brain fog.
Which are all diseases of inflammation.
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz, question for you, or
Dr. Nelson.
comment for you. What do you think? Cabanero 777 says, OMAD is not necessarily the best way to go for women.
So 50,000 years ago, women were saying, honey, you better go get me food because I can't do 1 meal a day. Men and women is strong, and actually women are stronger than men. We're built to go days and weeks without food in our ancient environment. Our modern way of now telling women can't do it is BS. Big BS. Women get fat faster than men because they're built for fasting. And hyperemesis of pregnancy, early first trimester, is usually a sign, don't put that into this mouth. Because
that's morning sickness. For the people that don't understand the big words, that's morning sickness.
Hyperemesis gravidarum, morning sickness. Yes, thank you, Alia.
Yeah.
That is absolutely, again, our environment of easy access to food doesn't exist in the universe of our ancient past. Our biggest problem is easy access to food. We're not addicted to food. We're doing what our ancient brain says to do in the fall. There's lots of ripe fruits. And again, a zucchini is a fruit. A tomato is a fruit. A cantaloupe, those are all fruits, right? And basically, we're supposed to get fat fast and skinny slow. And no other animal wishes to be skinny. And remember, when you wish for something that seems counter to the human brain, it ain't going to let you do it. Even GLP-1ers, everyone that stops them is going back to getting obese, as we've labeled it. And so now they're telling you, we've got a pill for the rest of your life. And do GLP-1s, they're free of symptoms, aren't they?
No.
No.
No. So it's all BS for sure. We all hunted, gathered, migrated, gestated, hibernated, and caved in.
In Russian, when someone is ill, you say to them, gain weight. That's instead of get well, we say gain weight.
And actually eat fat.
Yeah.
But we don't eat fat. We eat plants and rendered fat, which is not the same as raw animal fat. And what do we know about fat and microbes?
Oh, they can't survive in them.
That's correct. And butter never molds. And adipose tissue. That's why you can dry age a piece of meat. In general, the meat you dry age was covered with fat. And so the microbes minimally adhere to it and cut it up, sear it up, black and blue, and salted is the best.
Yeah.
Remember, even the keto carnivore world with all of its ideas that don't align up with our true ancient nature. We are not strict carnivores in our ancient past. We ate some plants, but we really thrive and survive the very best on raw animal meat, organ meats, and fat, bone marrow and brains.
Dr. Kiltz, what is a highly domesticated animal?
Oh, so a dog and a cat is a domesticated lion and wolf. How did they get that way? You feed them kibbles. Basically, kibble is a plant-based diet with some lean meat in it, right? Chicken, fish, turkey, and vegetables. And so if you feed an ancient human bread and beer, they become a domesticated animal we call an addictive animal because our brain says eat these things because that was very rare in our ancient environment. And so basically we're slaves, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. We're domesticated animals.
By the way, Carnivore Karina has 2 wiener dogs and they have back problems. And once my boy started showing signs, I had been on the lion diet for 3 months at that point and I healed. So I was like, why am I feeding him kibble? Why am I feeding them kibble? So I put them on a raw meat diet and it took him 1 month to be a puppy again. They're 11 years old. They're doing parkour in my house.
Do you do a lot of exercise?
Not a lot, no.
Do you think exercise is more important than simply being in communion with life?
No.
So get up, go to work, enjoy life,
Yeah.
participate in building something, connecting people, and healing.
Amen. Yes. Every day.
Every day.
I want to mention something, Dr. Kiltz and Alia. Alia, I just noticed the marketplace is live.
Oh, it is live. Yes, we should bring that up. And anyone who has any affiliate programs is allowed to email me and we can put it up on the marketplace. You want to click the marketplace though?
Yeah, well, that first page is our main core products with grass-fed beef liver, the organ blend, the electrolytes, and then multiple other things that we have. You want to get some Wagyu beef. This one is pretty good. 3C Jopa. There's just visit at shop. What is the
It's kiltzhealth.com.
shop.kiltzhealth.com.
And go to Marketplace.
Yeah. You can
Cool.
also just go to kiltzhealth.com.
And
Also, it's in the Kiltz Mighty Tribe. We have a little mini marketplace inside the Kiltz Mighty Tribe with all of those items also.
Karina,
Yes.
what do you think is the future of our carnivore health space, do you think?
I think it's going to spread like wildfire because people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we're so poisoned as humanity that people are going to be looking for answers. And like I said before, we are the science. And it's just a matter of time that people wake up or they're going to go to sleep permanently.
So our real job is to share this story for our children's children.
Yes.
All of our children.
Yes. Our future.
The
Our
mass-
own future.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we're learning from our brothers and sisters before us for our future brothers and sisters, all of us. And again, it's all our children around the globe. And bringing peace and love to our brothers and sisters around the globe is really our focal point here on Kiltz Health, and how we can share that and accept and honor with love.
And if you want to learn more, become a member of the Kiltz Mighty Tribe. I know Karina is a supporter of the Kiltz Mighty Tribe, right?
Absolutely.
And we want to encourage more meetups for just, again, claim a meetup, bring people together. And I think that's such an important thing for all of us to do is on a regular basis.
Actually, in 11 days, we're going to have a meetup in Melbourne. I will be there. I don't know if Dr. Kiltz is going to be there, but with the old guy carnivore, Mike Seeley, his father, and it's a local thing. We'll be together for 2-3 hours, maybe, at a Brazilian steakhouse.
Okay. Here's an interesting comment. I try to share, but my family doesn't listen. What's the difference between listening and hearing? So just like general marketing and it's you don't have to hear it. Your brain is always listening to the world. Eventually your molecular structure of your brain, as you continue to share your wisdom in your way, they eventually hear it. So this is the secret of marketing, the psychology of marketing. They don't have to hear you yet, but be the beacon of better, right? Be the bacon beacon of better. And again, it does take our individual suffering. That's our nature. It just is, but where you're going to have to do your own suffering to strengthen. This is just a message, a beacon. It's like Jesus Christ. I mean, how many of us, the message was there, but we didn't hear it or understand it. And then eventually it was like, oh my God, really? And he says, he put us there. He puts us in the vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, pescatarian, carnivore worlds in the right time at the right place.
Yeah.
I'm an outcast. Lions. I mean, are lions the majority of organisms in the world? No, we're a minority. Christ carnivore. And yes, Peter, Rabbi, he just set out to tell the world, hey, God is you, by the way. God is within all of us. And they gave us a language. Remember, the word is the way, the language of love, forgiveness, kindness, generosity. Like, I mean, how thick is the New Testament compared to the Old Testament? Right?
Yep.
Occam's razor says the simple answer is the one. In a somewhat, we're all on death's door, right? And we're born to die. When and how we're going to die, God only knows. So you can put your dying in his column and you just start living, right? That's what this is about. The stuff doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter. The accolades don't matter. And the labels in front of behind your name don't matter. Actually, your name doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the giveaway here. Everyone
Well,
has
what's this question?
seconds. Oh, what's this question? Is there
Is there-
anything that should not eat OMAD?
A cow.
I think it might have been intended to be, is there anyone who should not eat OMAD?
Well, I mean, an herbivore in general is not meant to fast.
They need to be eating constantly.
That's correct. And eating fat from an herbivore will kill them, because fat suppresses the microbes in the gut, which is critical to break down the complex plants into simple sugars in order to then go to the liver via insulin, converted to fat, so we get a fatty steak. Yeah, everyone and anyone. Now, again, the biggest problem is our anorexic, bulimic lifestyles, which is caused by brain damage from plant eating. Plants are highly damaging to the brain. I don't make a very complicated story. I mean, I would just say plants in general are more poisonous than meat, but lean meat can be equally poisonous as fatty meat, as plants. What's the date and the time for the Melbourne?
March 13, 11:30 a.m. Estampa Gaucha. And we'll have it up in our Kiltz Meetup, right, Alia?
I'm on mute. Sorry. Yeah, today we'll get it up on the Kiltz Meetups website and everywhere else. She wants to know, are there tickets or do you just show up?
If you just show up, you're basically gonna pay. There is no tickets, no. But
Okay.
you know, obviously you'll be responsible for your own ticket.
Your own meal.
Who's organizing this?
Mike
Dr.
Seeley.
Nelson. Okay.
Maybe we should help in the KMT sort of create a list. Hey, just RSVP, and then everyone will pay when they get there. But so it just gives us an idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can get that set up today. If you supplement with zinc, aren't you supposed to add copper? Fernando Pasos. Let's see. What about
Dr. Nelson?
But I'm going to say something controversial, and I should put a disclaimer. I do take some supplements, but most supplements are overrated. Do what's going to get you the 95% in. A lot of these supplements, even if they add anything altogether, is the 1%. That's my main comment regarding supplements.
Commonly paired to support immune function, skin health, and collagen formation while preventing nutrient imbalances. Which, again, if you think about most of these supplements like this, who are they made for? Standard eaters, which are highly inflamed and damaged, and most of the nutrient value of a plant is not there, and it's anti-nutrient, and so all these things are pretty much written and created for a very sick world of a plant, low animal fat world. So ultimately, fatty meat, organ meats, you probably need only gratitude in life. God.
And many people, when they hear about carnivore, they start questioning, well, where am I going to get my nutrients?
Gotta end.
Oh, shoot. We didn't even do the giveaway. Uh-oh.
Go longer. Go longer.
Forget it. Forget it.
Go longer. Go longer.
So,
Go longer. It's okay.
a lot of people don't realize that, beef in particular is probably the most nutrient dense food there is.
Yeah.
Oh, Stevie,
congratulations. Email me, alia@drkiltz.com, and I will send it to you.
D3K2 magnesium for Pop Carnivore.
All right.
I got to
Goodbye,
practice
everybody.
taking my supplements. I'm not always as good.
Goodbye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
All right, all.
Tribe tonight, 5:30 p.m.
Try
5:30 p.m. Definitely. And
Karina, thank you for being here. You're wonderful.
It's
Do
a
we see how
pleasure.
people find you?
On my Instagram and TikTok. Karina J. Juliana is my handle.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Karina.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Yep.
much.